So you spoke about the earthquake and the small impact on the Japanese economy. From a Westerner's perspective, I think it's more important to understand the relationship Japan has with China, because that's a one-time effect. People are scared it will go away at some point. But what won't go away is if relationships with China really are deteriorating strongly. And the whole Senkaku Island discussion, I think, is much more important to understand the risk profile of Japan, because it's really very reliant upon China, as far as I understand. So what is happening in Japan?
Yeah, there got to be a politically problem between China and Japan. But if I see that in the economical market, there's no differences between before, like between the China and the Japan. And for example, I think 1 month before, like China's insurance company permitted to invest into the abroad and even the real estate. That's including in Japan. So recently, many of Chinese investors try to contact with me, and they need an opportunity to see the Japan market. So I don't feel anything about that relationship.
Yes, go ahead.
One of the biggest deals we saw in Japan, I think, over the last 12 months was CIC's investment from Global Logistic Properties on the industrial side. And I see that going forward as well with Chinese investors, although there's some political issues, that they'll continue to invest in the Japanese market.
But there's a lot of concern on the retail and hospitality, because if that's been driven to apart by Chinese, and so I think that it's important to watch that relationship. And one, I wonder where, for instance, the defence market in Japan is located geographically, and where within Tokyo. If things deteriorate, then maybe that's a sub-market to get interested in.
I like the opportunistic thinking. That's good.
It's the reality of people saying if there's a European Union breakout, then defence is the right stock to be in. And just last night on Newsnight, they're talking about 2 new aircraft carriers have been launched in Japan. So if things deteriorate, there will be an acceleration in defence build-up, which will have implications for economic growth in particular locations throughout the country.
I mean, it's a very good question, and I normally like to become sort of quite briefed on these matters, but I've made a mental note to go and do some more research on this. But generally speaking, as investors in the region, you can only expect this kind of incident to increase. As sort of behind it is, all of the non-Chinese nations sheltering under the American blanket. And as China's flexing its military muscles. So you can expect to see a lot of these things over the next 10 or 15 years, I think, as just as part of a realignment of military power in the region.